Hey, Mike here. Um, so over the last while, there's been a lot of things happening in my life, in my work, in which, there's something I want, and it always seems out of reach to me. Or there's something I have to overcome in myself to get there. Recently, I was reminded of this model that I want to share with you. It's referred to as edge theory. Um, and I was reminded of this now. Before I get into it, what I want to do is give credit to CRR Global. This is an ORSC tool. So a few years ago, I took ORSC, and definitely a tool I make use of in business. So let's get into it. Let me explain here. This is going to be kind of like my whiteboard. So you're going to have to I'll apologize now. I'm going to keep looking down in order to draw. The way edge theory works is it goes on the premise of we have what we have today, right? We are here. We can look around and we can say, what's the condition of my life right now? What are the things I have in my life? And this is referred to as primary. It's where you are today. The other side of this triangle here, on the right-hand side, is where we want to be. What do we want to have in our life? How do we want to be? Where do we want to be? All that type of stuff. And that's secondary. So let me give you an example. Years ago, I wanted to be a published author, which meant I was over here saying I wanted to be a published author. And there's a mountain to overcome, right? So published author would be over here. I'm a published author and my book is selling. To get there, though, what's probably fairly obvious is it would be really difficult to go from, boy, I'd really like to be a published author, to you're done, you're there, right? If not impossible to do that. And so what we have to do is we have to head up this way, over top of this mountain to get to the other side, right? And once we get to the other side, even it's not a one-stop thing, right? I might be at a point where I release the first draft. I might be at a point where I have reviews and it's now edited and ready to go. Some of these things might actually be over here somewhere, wherever they are. There's no right or wrong answer. Here's the thing, though, to get there, to cross over top, you notice there's a peak at the top here. And this peak right here is what's referred to as the edge, right? Green really doesn't work in here. Let me just change that up quick. The fun part about using a green screen behind you, right? There's this thing, this peak we have to cross where there's some kind of edge, something that's holding us back, right? This point right here. Sometimes it's relatively small. Sometimes it's just looking at something for what it is and you can step past that. Could be a fear, could be doubts, could be uncertainty. It could be really big too, right? The edge could feel really, really big and almost impossible to cross. So that's edge theory, right? It's all about getting from the left side, the primary, where we are today, to where we want to be in the secondary. So let's start with the new chart here. So how do you do that? How do you cross an edge? There are many, many ways to cross edges. Sometimes we just kind of jump right over top of it, right? Yeah, should do that bigger, right? We make some big leap and we suddenly find ourselves on the other side. Other times, we have to zigzag our way through this, right down here. And so what that looks like is, I'm not 100% sure how to get to the other side, to get to secondary. I'm not entirely sure if what I'm going to try is going to work. And so you dip your toe in it. And then you go back to primary, you go back to where you know how to do things, right? You go back to the left side of this chart. This could also be things like, we often talk about comfort zone, right? We're in our comfort zone. We know how to do this. This is our zone of genius. That would be the left side, the primary. The right side would be things we haven't tried before, and we're going to have to get out of our comfort zone, and we're going to have to cross over some kind of edge, right? Some kind of fear, doubt, uncertainty, whatever it is. And so dip your toe on the other side and retreat back, right? This is what I do in order to build my business. I keep trying things. If you follow me, I do a lot of publishing of blog posts. I do webinars and other kind of training, free training. Almost every week I'm offering something, and I do these kinds of live broadcasts. So for full transparency, that's me zigzagging my way down this. So that's edge theory, and that's ways to cross it. So let me give you a big example here, right? Back in March of 2020, pandemic hits, and suddenly the world is shifted upside down. What happened? We crossed an edge, right? All of us did. I know I did. I crossed an edge, right? So there was some kind of edge sitting here, and it was like, boom, I'm on the other side. The problem is, it was one of these big type ones. The problem is, when I cross the edge like that, that big of an edge to that degree, it's quite upsetting. It's disorienting. I wasn't ready for it. I don't know how to behave on this side of the edge. And so what I had to do was find ways to get back on the left side, get back to the primary, get back to what I'm comfortable, so that I could start doing this again when it came to how do I operate and run a business, be successful inside of a pandemic. Who's done that before? I know I haven't. I'm pretty sure you haven't either. Right? Keep going. Fast forward quite some time, and we come into the new year. I'm on like this world of living and operating in the pandemic is now on my primary side. And it's time to start accelerating and building the business further, even pivoting the business, looking for different ways to operate. So what ended up happening is, over on this side, the secondary, I started defining, okay, what do I want? Right? And I started thinking about all the business tactical type things, and that went into the secondary side. The problem is, I didn't know how to get there. There was some kind of edge, right? It was a big one. I couldn't get past it. I couldn't get to where I wanted to get to that comfort level that things would start to flow. And so what did I do with that? First of all, I went to this place I haven't talked about yet, which in the ORSC tool is referred to as Realm. Right? It's a place you check out. It's almost, if not impossible, to coach or help somebody who's in Realm. For me, I also see this as there's denial here, there's coping, right? There's a number of mindsets that are happening that until I get past them, I can't deal with the edge that's actually at the top here. What did it for me? I had to go over here to my definition of secondary and start to re-examine what's there. And what I found is my secondary definition was an old, held a bunch of values and ethics from years gone by, right? That may or may not be applicable in today's world. So redefined my secondary, suddenly the edge went away. Well, the edge was still there, but it was much easier to cross it and get on the other side of it. So hopefully this is making sense, this idea of edge theory. So how do you apply it? Right? It's really not a difficult thing. Right? Now, first off, if you have a coach, a friend, a mentor, somebody who can ask you really great questions while you work through this, really powerful questions, I find that always helps. And I often will self-apply this as well. And so what I'll do is I'll take a piece of paper, much like this, and I'll draw the triangle, and I'll sit there and I'll start to list, right? Imagine each one of these lines is an item. What are the things on the left side of this? What's true about today? What do I have? Right? And so I'll build up this list and so on. Over on the other side of it, what I'll do is I will start to list what are the things I want to be true? Where do I want to be? Right? I want to work from home. I want 10 clients. I want to publish a second book. Whatever it is, a whole number of things. So if that's where I want to be, and this is where I am, sorry, I did that backwards. If that's where I want to be, and the right side is where, sorry, if the left side is where I am, and the right side is where I want to be, then what I start to do is start to examine what are the steps I need to take to get myself over there. Right? And I'll start to identify them. Some of them are right here. Right? Some of them are fed by what's over here on this side. Right? But I'll start to identify those steps to get there. What I'm actually looking for is a step where I go, that doesn't seem possible, or it upsets me, or creates some kind of anxiety, or whatever it is. I know it when I hit them, right? Because I can feel it. That right there is probably a edge. I'm not going to say it's the only edge. It's an A edge. And then I start working my way down the other side. If I can't find this, it's possible my definition on the secondary side here has a problem in it. Might not actually be something I want. It could be based, like I was talking about the pandemic and moving forward. It could be something based on old ideas or old ideals. So find a way to apply this, right? Work your way through the edge. And look for what supports do you need. So when you have an edge, sometimes just naming it, just putting it out there is enough to normalize it, to take away its power. But other times there's things you need to help support you get across that. Like maybe you need an ally, whether it's a coach, a friend, a mentor, leader, whatever it is. Other times you might just have to take some kind of bold action to see what happens. Start that zigzag thing. Just try something. If you're looking to build business, then here's a bold action for you. If you haven't done this, go live on Facebook, right? Or LinkedIn or wherever you are. Go live, right? Because I can tell you that feels really bold. And there's other times that it's like, go, right? There's that much fear. You might assess what's going on. Look at numbers, look at stats, look at facts, whatever it is, right? There's so many things you can do to help figure out how to cross that edge. And I would encourage you to find the ones that work for you. Not forgetting, of course, what works today may not work tomorrow. So here's my offer for you. If you're looking at this and you listen, I'm gonna encourage you to go ahead and take a piece of paper and create this edge, and then start through the exercise and find out where your edge is. Feel like you need support? More than happy. Book a 30-minute a 45-minute intro coaching call with me, go to leadingforchange.ca and you'll find it there. Free, no obligation. Let's just help you find what's that edge. Hey, Pam Ross. I love the concept of the edge for helping us move forward. Absolutely. Isn't that what it's all about? It's getting from this left side over to where you really want to be. And the edge is such a beautiful visual for helping that happen. All right, I hope this is helpful. Go to leadingforchange.ca, book a free intro call with me. I would love to help you work through this. No cost, no obligation, just my gift to you. All right, have yourself a good day and see you tomorrow.